pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let the roll call reflect that all members are present and Director Mullner is attending remotely from Rosemount Armory, Minnesota National Guard at 3865 South Robert Trail in Rosemount, Minnesota. 4.0 Student Representative Information.
Hello there. Our high school is offering the ACT April 24th, so last Friday all of us were signed up and we got to fill out all the paperwork, make sure we chose the colleges that we wanted our scores to be sent to. It was a lot of fun to say the least. We have our final blood drive of the school year on Monday, April 23rd. And we have prom coming up, which is a big thing in our school. And that is May 5th. Sign-ups are going to be, what day is this? April 16th through the 20th, so everyone has a week to sign up. Singles are $25, couples are $50. It'll be lots of fun. Our theme is Enchanted Forest. And that is at the Eveleth Auditorium by the fire hall. All detention must be made up by May 4th though, including seat time. Our spring play is up and running. Practices have been going well. We've been going for a few weeks now. Our show is All in the Timing by David Ives. It is a series of one-acts. They are all amazing shows. Our performances are April 26th, and 27th at 7 o'clock in our high school auditorium, and Saturday, April 28th at 1. Mr. Strasser's forensic biology class is playing with blood this week, which is a lot of fun. We're learning how blood splatters, how it stains, how hard it is to clean up, and why none of us will ever be killers. So stop by, it's a lot of fun. We're setting up little things of what happened. It's a lot of fun and really interesting too. The 11th graders get the great chance to take the math MCAs, and we are all very excited about it. That is the 2 days after our ACTs. We are excited. So much in 1 week. The end of the quarter was approximately 2-3 weeks ago, which means it's quarter 4, and we're counting down. We're ready for summer. Well, I don't know about the weather, but we are. So seniors have 35 days left, if I am correct, and us regular students have 38. And the speech team took first at subsections, and I just want to wish them good luck at sections. For our sports, we don't have a whole lot. The weather did not like us, so everything was either canceled or postponed or rescheduled. But Saturday in Virginia, there is a boys tennis meet. So that will be a lot of fun. All our sports seem to be doing very well, even though they've had no games. Their practices are going well. And if you didn't get to check it out, the junior high talent show, I did not know so much could come out of junior high kids, but it was wonderful. And that is all I have.
Awesome, lots going on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, 5.0 agenda additions and deletions.
Madam Chair, there's minutes of a special meeting March 27th from all the board members that needs to be added to consent agenda A.
Okay. Anything else? All right, 6.0 visitor input. Anybody sign up? Okay, 7.0 approve the agenda. We need a motion to approve the agenda as amended, correct? To include the special meeting minutes of 3/27/18.
I'll make a motion.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Second.
Second by Gentilini. Any discussion?
Is there any, in accordance with state statutes, is there a reason why the name is not on here of the person?
It's not necessary.
Okay. All right.
Okay, all those in favor? of the-
Aye.
Aye. Of approving the agenda. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. 8.0, approve the treasurer's report for the second check writing of March, the month of March, and the first check writing of April.
Okay, for the second check writing of March, we had a total disbursements of $259,284.55. Our balance for the end of April is, the total receipts are $1,032,045.79, with total disbursements of $486,022.96, with a payroll of $775,767.78. The miners' bank account is $4,255,546.38. The First National Bank of Gilbert has $2,053,632.50, for a total between the two banks of $6,309,178.88. For the first check writing of April, disbursements total, we had $441,808.42. I make a motion that this board approve the check writing as presented.
Support.
Motion by Addie, support by Gentilini. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. 9.0, consent agenda. A, approve the minutes of the regular meeting of Monday, March 12th, 2018, and the special meeting minutes of 3/27/18, March 27th, 2018. B, approve the resignation of cheerleader advisor. We have a motion. I will make a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of Monday, March 12th, and the special meeting minutes of March 27th, 2018. However, with the amendment that the minutes reflect that we were going to have a meeting on March 26th, a regular meeting, and that was, we decided to forego that regular meeting and have a collaborative meeting, so that needs to be reflected, correct? Okay. So motion by Lotiger. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Aye.
Little annoying.
Yeah.
Sorry, Derek.
Brody, what did you want the amendment to be?
The motion is to approve the minutes of the regular meeting, Monday, March 12th, and the special meeting minutes of March 27th. But the regular meeting minutes should reflect, or should amend, that we did not have a regular meeting on March 26th,
Gotcha.
that we decided to forego that and have a collaborative meeting with Virginia instead.
Thank you.
Got it?
Yes, thank you.
All right, 10.0, items removed from consent agenda, we didn't have any. 11.0, personnel. 11.1, approve the resignation of Teresa Allen. Okay.
Let it go somewhere else. We still need one, so we'd like to have it on there. to approve posting a replacement. That's for the start of next year.
Do we have a motion to approve the resignation of Teresa Allen and to post for next year for that position?
I'll move.
Okay. Motion by Addie, second
I'll second.
by Sather. Any discussion?
Yeah, I would, Randy, is there any chance we can start doing exit interviews with these people, exit interviews?
I think that we could probably have that discussion at a study session.
No.
We can have that
Okay,
discussion.
that's good. So,
Are they done? Are exit interviews done when people choose to leave?
Not typically, right? So if that's something that we want to just add for a discussion of the next study session, we can do that.
okay.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm an aye too.
Okay, motion carries unanimously. 11.2, approve Margaret Matson as a long-term substitute teacher.
Madam Chair, when we replaced the dean of students up at Franklin, it left a third grade position open, which we filled with a sub. After a substitute fills a position for 30 days, they become part of the regular unit, so that's what this is. She's put in 30 days.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve Margaret Matson as the long-term substitute teacher.
Do we have a second?
I'll support.
Motion by Sather, support by Peterson. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Opposed, sorry Derek, I gotta give you a little time, I guess. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. 11.3, accept the notice of retirement for Kyle Thorson.
Mr. Thorson will be retiring early September. But I put this on there now so we can start looking for a replacement or decide how we want to replace it, either one. There are probably that should be another topic on the study session, is have, discuss how we want to replace it. There's some options.
So you're not looking for a motion for posting or anything at this time?
No, because I think we should decide what it's gonna look like as far as how much teaching, how much athletic director, if there's gonna be any contract outside of that kind of thing. So
Okay. Do you have a motion?
it may look just the same, but at least we could look at it.
Do we have a motion?
I will make a motion with a letter of thanks for the many years of service.
I will support.
Support.
I got it. Thanks. Motion by Sather, support by Lotiger. Any discussion, any further discussion?
I would like to see that, we talk about, here it says approve posting for the replacement position, so we can remove that posting until we can,
Right.
maybe we can terminate first, or, okay?
We'll put that on a study
Yeah,
session.
Right, so we're gonna remove that, we're not gonna post for it. Okay, very good.
No, the motion was only for approving the
Exactly.
resignation.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. 12.0, new business. 12.1, approve Spencer Ani as the signature of the safety deposit box and the impress fund, and remove Randy Knowles as signature of this safety deposit box.
Madam Chair, this is cleaning up some things with the bank, with the changeover and business managers at the Eveleth Miners Bank. We still do have a safety deposit box. We found the key, 3 years ago, and went in there, and there's really nothing significant in there. We don't really use it. Costs us $54 a year, so I mean, it's not a major thing, but I think when we do the reorganization, though, we should look at not having that anymore. I mean, there's really nothing in there. But anyway, Randy's name is still on there, so we need to officially have minutes that says that his name isn't on it. And Spencer being his replacement would.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
I'll move.
Second,
Second.
motion by Addie, second by Gentilini. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 12.2, approve the second reading of policy 510, extracurricular activities policy.
Madam Chair, we had a study session to go over policy 510, and I believe we came to a consensus afterwards, and Todd typed in the changes as we went, and that should have been in the board packet that's changed.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
I will make a motion to approve the second reading of policy 510.
Motion by Sather. I'll second. Second by Lotiger. Any discussion?
Yes, Randy, on page 30,
What page?
30.
30. I'll get to it here in a second. Page 30, it says, on other concerns such as illegal activities, moral conduct, disrespectful treatment, and such. We got the discussion with the activities director, if no resolution, discussion and concern with principal, if no resolution, discussing with superintendent. In our last meeting, I mentioned to Mr. Grippentag that if no resolution, then it would go to the board. Discuss, before would be to discuss with the Board of Education. I do believe. I would like to see that.
I think Kelly, did you
Yeah,
state that you
you-
wanted it to match up?
Yeah, you want it to match with the rest of the chain of command.
Because it's in here in the earlier part, yeah, I thought that that was just gonna be added just to make sure that it's reflective of the line,
The chain of
just to
command.
be consistent, it's, but it's in here in the earlier section.
I just missed that, and
Yeah.
she just added it right now.
Okay.
There was only one thing that I looked at, or was noticing throughout that I probably just didn't catch the first time, but there's a lot of wording about activities director. Is that supposed to be athletic director? Because it talks about athletes, talks about athletes a lot, and it just seems as though that activities director should actually say athletic director.
Yeah, it's, I mean, we can certainly do that, it's not a problem, but activity director is kind of becoming the term that schools are using to hire because it encompasses.
The other curricular.
Some of this stuff was considered on plays and stuff too, and you don't have, our athletic director doesn't oversee, doesn't
Yeah.
provide oversight on
Yeah.
those events,
I-
so.
I guess
I
I
mean, we
just,
can change it if you want.
I don't think it needs to be changed, I just think it needs to be consistent then, so people know that there is not a difference between athletic director and activities director, that it's one and the same. Any further discussion?
That's the other thing we can talk about then is, you know, what do we want to call this person?
You know, that's fine by me, just as long as it's consistent throughout and they're not used interchangeably, because I think it can kind of be confusing. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 12.4, set closed session to discuss negotiation strategy.
I think you missed 12.3.
Did I? 12.3, oh, sorry, I got it already crossed. 12.3, approve 2017-2019 confidential master agreement.
I'm sure you should have, all the board package should have a final version of what we've talked about over several study sessions. Hopefully that matches what the board wanted to do. And still have to discuss the stipend for the payroll part.
I think there's been some question in the past that, I mean, does that need to be reflected on both agendas here? That discussion is going to happen about the payroll clerk position?
It was in the information.
Okay. So we need a motion.
I'll move.
Second?
Second.
Motion by Addie, second by Gentilini. Any further discussion? Would like to have further discussion on the
Yeah.
stipend?
I think we have to open up a little bit more conversation. The stipend, I think, was the one thing to discuss. Because that was put out there in our last study session. One of the things that we did look at is having the consistent pay scale throughout, for the 3 positions that, that were viewed as being able to, I mean, we were looking at them as being able to work interchangeably. And there was one that was different than the other, so having consistency within those pay scales. If the job duties themselves, or not the job duties themselves, if the jobs were pretty consistent with one another across the board. And I mean, and I think that has to be a further conversations. I do think we had 1 or 2 board members that were gone in that work session. I would like to have a little bit more conversation just to make sure that everything is voiced and people have an opportunity to discuss.
Do we need to do that in another work session to have further discussion on the stipend, or can we talk about that
You
here?
can do it now, it's on the agenda, or if you wanna wait, you can do that too.
I mean, I think we had enough consensus to bring it here, and that's why it was put on the agenda,
Yeah.
but it was at a starting point, and it was at kind of, you know, the consensus from at the work session was, yeah, people felt that there were extra above and beyond duties, but there was the baseline that was thrown out.
A percentage.
A percentage was thrown out, and then also keeping in mind that there was a raise given to that position as well to match it with the other positions too,
I agree.
so.
And I think the one thing that I would like to be, you know, I'd like everybody on the board to be aware of too is, you know, there has been some turnover, and there has also been others that have stepped up and, you know, did additional duties as well. So I think that we need to be aware of that and think about fairness as well when we're looking at that stipend. That's my thought.
Who are those, so we said there's other people that have come forward to the board with additional duties?
Nobody else has come to the board at this time.
Yeah, nobody else has come to the board. I just know that there's been other people in the district who have stepped up and taken on additional duties when there's been turnover. So I'm just thinking about fairness for all.
If the board wants to do another study session, that's not a bad thing. We did talk about, 10-15% of the other position that she had done duties for about 4 months. But the entire board wasn't there. If everyone wants to get together, I think that's very fair. Talk about it again.
I'm fine with the, the salary and having it, equal. I'm okay with that. I guess I would just like a little further discussion too on the percentage.
I agree. There's a few more things that, and it's unfortunate, but I'm not as comfortable probably as where I was following the study session. And there's a few more things that, I have more questions about, that I don't necessarily have answers for, so.
Well, you wanna get the contract through and then you can talk about the stipend in the study session?
Okay, so you're looking for a motion just to approve the
Contract
contract?
as it states right here.
Well, we have that. You just have a decision on the stipend.
Okay.
Which is not in here, in the language.
If I may ask a question, because I wasn't present at that committee meeting, what was the rationale between making all three of these positions the same salary? I know that every one of them has different responsibilities, and workloads may be consistent, but each one of them might have different experience or educational levels, which traditionally are compensated at different levels due to education and background. And that's what, this is the first time that this has ever kind of come to where all of these could be weighted equally, and I was just wondering what the rationale between the job requirements and educational and experience backgrounds, how they equaled out in that conversation.
So that's a great question. I don't necessarily know if we actually looked at the job descriptions themselves and looked at them as a comparable. What I was thinking of is when all of those jobs were kind of intermixed and when they were kind of dispersed and reorganized, when the business office area was reorganized, people were reclassified into these jobs without any very specific things, and they could have, I mean, people could have went into other different duties, and I don't think there was any rhyme or reason for it or any disqualification for it. So with that being said, my view is they're pretty, if I can be a payroll clerk and if I can go into as a bookkeeper, are those, should they be weighted the same?
Well, that's what I'm saying, what's the requirements? As a payroll clerk, do you need a finance background? It's payroll and finance background. Do we say that they need a 4-year degree to do that position versus our bookkeeper holds an accounting degree? I mean,
Yeah.
do we
I
weight
get
them
what you're
equally
asking,
because
we
of
didn't look
education?
at the job descriptions, I'm looking at strictly when we took the business office and we
Yep.
recategorized everyone.
But
We kind of shifted based on job duties
Right.
and said, here, you're gonna go into payroll, here, this is gonna be the bookkeeper, and here, this is gonna be the human resources. And,
But they all have different requirements and to be that person, I guess is my point. And I guess the only point that I'm raising is that we're setting these salaries in stone or compensations in stones for these. See, this board has always talked since I've been here more focusing on the position versus the person, because the person might go in and out of that position.
focus on the
So we should be
position,
focusing on the position, and is this board weighting somebody that might have an accounting degree as a bookkeeper, the same as, say, I don't know if a human resource director or a payroll clerk, we don't require a 4-year degree, you know, have we looked at that deep for going forward, that those are weighted the same for someone that is, you know, has a degree or background and someone that doesn't or may not? Not saying that it is or bad or one way or the other, but that they're weighted differently, you know?
I have it,
Right.
yeah.
And that's the only question that I pose, because I wasn't at that thing, and I guess my implication to the board is this is kind of more of an bigger conversation than just an emotional, you know, we have people that have been jockeyed around, and I'm not saying that that's necessarily it either, but I understand your reasoning. But I'm just saying that these have further long-term implications where we draw the line. So that's all I would have to say for conversation.
But Randy, didn't we just move up the payroll clerk, so everybody's equal between human resource director and bookkeeper? We
Yeah,
just
the
moved
payroll,
her up.
was the
the
one
payroll
position.
finance,
Just the one
yeah, the
position.
payroll finance clerk was the only one.
But what are
that
the
was
educational
making-
requirements for that position, as we as a job classification, versus other ones? And that's all I'm asking, and do we look at that? Does a payroll clerk need a 4-year degree? Does a bookkeeper need a 4-year degree? I mean, is there one that doesn't one, but we're compensating the same as somebody that has a degree? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And to the point of the bookkeeper, I mean, that's a $5,000 increase that we gave that person, you know? When traditionally from the last bookkeeper, they have less responsibilities on paper. So, I mean, that's a weighted conversation that I'm just trying to say is what was the justification other than, I know we just split the business office up, but we're asking that person to do less than they did.
So this person doesn't have a degree in finance.
I'm not-
Per se, we need to pay people what they're worth. If this person
Right.
is doing an outstanding job, going above and beyond, there's no reason whatsoever that she shouldn't be paid, you know.
But again, this isn't about the person, this is
That's
about
right.
the position. And
Right.
we want to hire somebody off the street with a 4-year degree, but we're going to compensate them as the same as someone that might have a high school education. I mean, what's the incentive to go to school and get a 4-year degree and, you know, get a licensure? Or, and I'm just saying, this is a bigger conversation than, you know. And that's what these salaries are reflecting, not necessarily people, they're reflecting the position and the education and experience that we're asking them to fulfill. And I was just wondering if that was part of the conversation, is all.
I mean, I guess we didn't have all 3 job descriptions in front of us when we looked at this.
And that's my point to raising the question, that this is kind of a bigger.
Jeff, I have a question.
Yep,
How many bookkeepers have we had in the last 3 years?
in the last 3 years,
Yeah.
1.
Okay. And clerks?
We just made that position, so he's the first one.
So it was,
We used to have a business manager of our own. We now have a bookkeeper we share a business manager with Virginia that does oversight on the bookkeeping.
did we have a lot of turnover before with the business manager in, like, say, the last 2-3 years?
Yes,
Okay, and so the bookkeeper essentially is that position, but it's the first time that we posted it. We've increased that pay somewhat for the bookkeeper.
the bookkeeper is not the business manager though. It's far less duties. So no, it wasn't increased. The business manager always made more.
Okay.
So, just for clarification, am I hearing that people would like to wait on signing that master, or, you know, approving the master agreement as well and going into further discussion on that in a work study, or study session?
I'm fine the way it is, myself personally.
Yeah, I think so. There's a lot of discussion here, so obviously it'd be healthy to have another study session on it.
Well, we've got a motion on the
Yeah, we have to
table.
vote on the agreement.
To look at it more?
I'll put a motion to have another study
No.
session
The
to
motion is to
review
pass it.
the salary and stipend.
So we have a motion on the table already, we have to vote on that. We have a motion on the table to approve the 2017-2019 confidential master agreement. The motion was made by Addie, support by Gentilini. So we need to vote on that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Here's an item.
Four. Opposed?
No.
Madam Chairman, you clarified, Director Derek,
Sure,
Wallner, what
sure.
he voted on?
Director
Just in
Mueller?
case.
Director Mueller, the motion on the table was to approve the current contract as presented. Were you voting yes, or did you want to go into a work study session?
Oh, okay, I know, I wrongly heard you. I think with the amount of discussion we had here, although did have a nice consensus, I think it'd be healthy to have another study session. I don't see
Okay.
anything wrong with that. We'd
Okay.
be productive and we have a better understanding of what we're doing.
Okay, so with clarification, Director Mueller is a no. Correct?
Yes, no.
Okay, so, 3 votes, Gentilini, Addy, and Lotiger were yes. No's, opposed was Chad, Sather, Peterson, and Mueller. So motion fails. So we need a motion then.
You know.
You don't need Need a
Just
motion?
need to go to study session. now.
Okay, all right. Okay, 12.4, set closed session to discuss negotiation strategies. We need a motion for that? Do we have a motion?
Make a motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Sather, support by Addie. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thirteen administrative report and information.
All right, Madam Chair, kind of a long one tonight, we haven't seen you in months. Our enrollment today is 9/18. I want to talk a little bit about the door access project. Most of the wiring is complete right now, they're putting the hardware on the doors. We talked in a study session about potentially adding 3 other doors, and those 3 doors would be the one outside what is now the weight room, the cafeteria, it's the outside access to that. The door right below us here that goes into the basement, it goes in the dark room. And then on the boiler room. Because those two, the last 2 doors I mentioned are the only 2 left that are keyed entries that people can still access and key. So we did get a change order proposal on that from the company that's installing the doors. And for the 3 of them, it'd be about $12,000, so about $4,000 more. How are we feeling about that?
If it's necessary. I'm all right with that.
And just for clarification, when these things are fobbed, they're on and out of it,
Yes.
so it's a good thing to have more control.
Jeff, who's got fobs? I mean, they're just, who has,
Just about everybody.
I mean, so just the teachers or?
No, there's all the coaches, volunteers, paraprofessionals. But it's just a matter of, like, say you're a paraprofessional, and you need to get from your Franklin down to the gym, I mean, you only have access to that. It's not like you have access to everything.
So they're coded for what you need.
I will also add on this project, so we currently have 2 doors out in the old bus garage that are also currently fobbed. And that's not going to be possible anymore. Well, it is possible, but there's a price to it. The access panel that controls the old garage is in the manual arts building, which is why we still have power running out there. The only reason that they are fobbed is because the gun club uses that building after school. But it's gonna cost us about $48,000 to run a wire out there underneath the road. And it's probably not worth it, so we're probably just put a new lock on there that's exclusive to them. Yeah.
So Jeff, I asked a question. So there's no students or board members that have fobs to school or anything like
I
that?
don't believe so.
Okay, all right.
I won't promise you that, but I don't believe there.
I would assume that Director Mulder does.
He probably does, yeah.
As a coach.
As a coach.
All right, so we'll plow forward with the 3 doors and hopefully get this wrapped up. A little bit about the listening session. So we've, last 3 weeks, we've done all the staff here and in Virginia. We did the student councils in both areas. We have done several community groups, including some senior groups in Virginia. The rec board here, going to the Lutheran Church tomorrow night in town. Where else did you go visit last week?
The nursing, or not, the Washington Manor,
Yeah, over in
we went
Virginia.
to, and then parent groups at Roosevelt.
Yeah, we started with elementary parent groups. We haven't had a lot of participation in those, but there were half a dozen people that showed up. So we're continuing those. It's kind of small print, but tomorrow we're here for, actually we're going to Virginia tomorrow for parents. And then will be here in the afternoon for elementary parents. The unfortunate thing is, this got sent out, we tried to make a revision, the one that got in the paper, and they had Franklin Elementary listed in Gilbert, but I have it changed here. So just a note to anybody that may have read that. So on Wednesday, we're back in this room, another parent meeting in the morning. And then Wednesday evening, we'll be over in Virginia for a parent meeting. And then Thursday, back in the Franklin in the morning for a parent meeting. 2 of them in the afternoon over in Virginia, and then 1 in the evening here for parents as well. And then Wednesday, we'll go over to Gilbert and the media center there, and that one is for parents as well. So these ones are all wide open. Anyone can attend over the course of the next.
Are you guys keeping participation numbers for?
Oh, everything's live, yeah. Everything that people say is, we'll come back to you in June.
And you don't have to details, just wondering how many, it'd be nice to know how many people participated throughout the process.
Yeah.
Are you still asking for board members to attend those sessions, or?
Certainly.
Or is
Yeah,
it?
we've kind of redone it a little bit. We started out, the listening session part of it, the facilitator was taking sticky notes and just taking them and reading them as they took them, and there was a little bit of discontent about that. And so we changed that up a little bit. We're just gathering them up in a pile and then reading them, so it's a little bit.
Okay. So it's more anonymous, the question?
Yeah. So, no, it's been going good though. It's, we've been hearing real positive things about it. A little bit more on the collaboration then. So we had talked earlier about a survey. Virginia is going to, you may have read in the paper, they're doing a little bit of collaborating with the city of Virginia on the miners project, and they're in the process of sending out a community survey, and there are some questions on that survey about this. So they're kind of covered. Do we want to do that too? And do we want to pay somebody to do that, or do you want like a Google form that I can put on the website?
To be part of their survey as
Well, it'd be our survey. We're surveying our community members about whether or not they support the idea of the academies or not.
I would like
Yeah.
to carbon copy. I mean, I'd like to do the same thing as them. Is that possible?
Their survey is pretty in-depth about the miners in particular. There's just a few questions on there. So far as copying it, no.
But
We can copy the questions that are-
about the academy.
We can do that, yeah.
I would like to be consistent if we can between both communities that way.
Okay.
Are we still kind of in the back listening session of how that miners project is going, or are we not involved in that at all? I mean, that's nothing that we formally talked about, but
No.
presented to us, and it's interesting evolution to see how it goes, and I
I'll
just.
talk about that in a second.
Okay.
We'll get through the survey part here. So we want to, like I said, do we want like a mailed survey? You want an online survey?
Mailed,
I do mail.
for mailed.
And,
It's gonna cost something, but.
and we would do it after the listening sessions, I'm assuming?
Well, we'd form it now and put it in the mail pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be nice to, I guess I have 2 things. Have we done if we do something in the mail, then I would love to do a flyer with it. So if we're already gonna be sending postage out, then I would love to attach a flyer with
Informational flyer.
an informational flyer about what we're talking about and the academies and everything. So that was gonna be one of my questions, is if we've done anything like that yet, and if we've sent it either with the students at home, but also we have a lot of people in our community that don't have students, so.
Yeah.
So that would be a nice opportunity to get an informational flyer to them, and then also to survey them then. I mean, so yeah, it's gonna be
One of the
costly,
things
but I
that-
think it's worth it.
Yeah, one of the things that we've been finding with listening sessions is a lot of people don't, they kind of want to get ahead of themselves. So that's just what we're struggling with, because right away, where's the school going to be? What's the mascot going to look like? And, you know, we go back to, we're just trying to figure out if people are interested in this concept, we're not looking at where it is or
That could be part of the informational thing, that, hey, this is just a concept, not necessarily, I mean, more of an introduction to it and information, and maybe some of the questions should be pointed in that direction versus every must do.
Yeah.
I agree, I think it should be mailed though, and
Mailed.
just to canvass everybody.
All right, I'll take the questions that are off the Virginia one, I have a copy of that, and we will, we have the addresses, because we have to, that's mail lots, so.
Well, and I think too, with mailing it, you know, the people that don't have kids in the school district anymore, like the older generation or whatever, they're not necessarily gonna go to our website and do the survey.
Yeah.
So mailing it is best.
All right, we'll do that. And just a little note, I did start the collaboration Facebook page. I put as much information as I know about where we're at right now on it. What I have found out today though is it is a closed page and you have to ask permission to, so I gotta fix that when I go home tonight, but I did get 58 friends today, so.
I looked at it, it looks nice. I mean, there's a lot, I haven't looked at all the information yet I looked at it on my lunch break and it looks pretty good.
Is that the one
As far
that's
as the
like,
detail.
It's called,
high school,
it's called-
Eveleth-Gilbert High School?
no, it's called Eveleth-Gilbert Virginia Collaboration, something.
I was nervous, so I didn't thank you.
Thanks a lot. I'm gonna try to pop it up. Here's what it looks like.
Is there a way to share? Like, there was one thing on there that I wanted to be able to share, but I couldn't.
Here,
So
here.
can you also check that?
Make it public,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
I just have to make it public, I think.
Change that.
Yeah.
But we'll figure that out. Okay, on to honor roll. Third quarter's done. Go ahead, guys.
All right, recognition for our third quarter honor roll. First of all, grade 7 exemplary 4.0 GPA. Jake Bradosh, Jarrett Delich, Amanda Johnson, Kylie Kunari, Carter Mavick, Brennan Mewich, and Caitlin Terrell. Straight A honor roll, A honor roll, Josh Blotnick, Lydia Delich, Braden Grauheck, Tyler Haryu, Anna Heinonen, Maggie Koskela, Ava Krauser, Griffin Krumpetich, Jaden Lang, Delaney Mackey, Morgan Marks, Rebecca Mooster, Blair Noyes, Kendra Rosati, Abigail Roush, Peyton Smith, and Hannah Weston. Congratulations to those 7th graders. 8th grade exemplary, William Bittman, John Schulzenberg, and Abby Sunditch. A honor roll for 8th grade, Elijah Bowe, Sophie Hill, Carson Intihar, Cassidy Jarvala, Sarah Jarvala, Emily Kemp, Lauren Laudiger, Drew Nelson, Carter Orant, Brendan Pionk, Brendan Swan, Haley Tarr, Lindsay Turbala, Brooke Thean, Nicholas Troutwine, Johanna Westby, Easton Young, Carly Yorchek, and Emma Ziegler. Congratulations goes out to the 8th graders.
9th grade exemplary honor roll, Amara Carey, Holly Kutzi, Kirsten Rothenberger, Kayla Wainampaw. A honor roll, Josh Career Oberstar, Cooper Grahek, Elizabeth Jankala, Maggie Landwehr, Heather Miller, Haley Schreiber, Jacob Sickle, Gracie Thompson, Andrew Terrell, Amelia Wagner, Amara Wilcox, Javon Zimmerman. 10th grade exemplary honor roll, Avery Delinsik, Peyton Doshin, Natalie Foltz, Carly George, Michaela Kitty, Taya Kikowski, Zach Linseth, Elizabeth Moll, Ashley Pion, Emma Westby. A honor roll, Molly Albrecht, Jacob Bruin, Alex Fisher, Alex Haas, Abby Johnson, Andrew Larson, Mia Moore, Elizabeth Stanway, Cody Stanisic, William Trutwine, Elliot Van Orsdale, Michaela Winkler.
You forget Johanna. Johanna Picker?
Well, she was actually going to be on a roll.
Well, you're the one that wrote this.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Sorry. I did fix it though, so I wonder why I didn't take it. 11th grade exemplary, Lauren Day, Kaylee Grahek, Cody Intihar, Riley Kikowski, Julia Lakari, Robert Lakari. 11th grade, Shariah Chase, A on roll, Shariah Chase, Justine Jan, Caitlin Jarvie, Alana Kraus, Alina Kraus, Rose Kutsi, Chloe Lassard, Gavin Mackey, Quinn Muich, Carl Zupancic. 12th grade exemplary honor roll, Kyle Kwitek, Kyle Sickle. And 12th grade A honor roll, Lacey Bontams, Sydney Hogue, Jasmine Jam, Jacob Lindfors, and Tyler Norsha. Congratulations to all of those students.
All right, Wolf Fever Bingo yesterday. I'd like to thank everybody that participated in that. I wish I had a number for you, but I haven't heard it yet. Do you hear a number?
No, I didn't make it. It's my first.
Sorry.
Sorry.
There's a lot of people there.
Yeah, it was a very good turnout. Thank you, PTA. I mean, it's great for our school. Kindergarten roundups on the 26th of April. That's a Thursday night, 5:30. Get to introduce you to all of our teachers and see where you're
Do you
at.
guys send out for that?
Yes.
If a person in our community hasn't been invited, they're just welcome to come, right?
Right. Yeah, we'll advertise for it when we get a little closer. We do send letters to everyone that's on the census. Nice little article, Sunday paper, on Miss Bittman's little chicks. Kind of small there, but see, she's got a whole page and a half, actually. And she's here, too. I'd also like to mention, this was actually a while ago, but we haven't seen it in a while, the 4th grade went up to the LEC and Laurentian Environmental Center and had a great day. Kids seemed to really enjoy it. Actually, they could go up now and it looks just the same. Unfortunately.
All right, some things going on at the Gilbert campus. I guess there's a few other things that we'll bring up next time, but currently we started a program initiated by one of the teacher groups, the PLC groups, talking about pillars of character, and our front display case has some of the pillars of character there listed. Display case of Make the Cut. What Make the Cut is, I'll kind of describe on the next page. Students, there we go. Students are, we're emphasizing character, fairness, responsibility, citizenship, trustworthiness, caring, and respectfulness. And around the building, about a month ago, started seeing some pictures of scissors and ties and little posters around the school, wondering what this Make the Cut thing was all about and who was going to be able to do it. Now on the next slide, you can see some examples of kids being able to make the cut. And what it really is teachers nominate 5 or 6 kids every week. We do a 5th grade, then a 6th grade, 7th, 8th grade in successive weeks, and we'll be doing this through the rest of the year and probably carry it into next year. And I come into the lunchroom wearing a tie, as I typically do, and students are able to get nominated. They stand up, we do a little cheer, and then 3 students get up to make the cut. First student comes up and cuts the first part of my tie off. They get to sign the tie, they get some perks around the building, like cuts in line, out of class early, free homework pass, different things like that, just focusing on the positive. Second kid comes up and gets to cut the back part of my tie off, and they get to sign it and all the same perks, and then the last person gets to do the neck cut up here, and I just kind of hold it up like this and hope they don't nick me on the neck. You can kind of see there.
Real scissors, huh?
Real scissors and everything. So anyway, we're really trying to emphasize the positive things that we've got going on. We've got great kids, and we just want to keep this going. I really want to thank the teacher group for putting it all together and organizing it. I have to show up and get the cut made on me, so it's pretty cool. And then this was up a while ago, I had it for the last meeting, but Mr. Thompson had a posters assignment for his students. You can kind of see some of one of the products there. I thought this one exemplified some great school spirit and getting kids to use some technology to make some posters. So I really appreciate that. And then next time we'll talk a little bit about the talent show, which was mentioned earlier in the meeting. We had a lot of great students perform for our talent show, and we'll get some photos up for next time. So thank you.
At the high school, we had 2 students, Alana Lindberg and Jared Seeley, go to a STEM All-Star Banquet. I work with Mr. Strasser on picking 2 students that are interested in a STEM career or just have done well in science, math, technology, engineering classes. And so we nominated those 2, and they're pictured there with other area students. We also nominate a teacher, and Mr. Chad was nominated. So all 3 of them went to the banquet and had a nice dinner, and they all receive a jacket that all of those students are wearing. It's an all-star STEM jacket, and the students received $500 scholarships as well. Mr. Arrow, boys basketball coach, sent me an email letting me know and to share with the board that Kyle Sickle made the all Iron Range Conference team in basketball, and Sam Albrecht and Kyle Kwiatek made the honorable mention. Congratulations to them. Mrs. Wilcox, our orchestra teacher, sent me this information and from the music contest that happened in March. And she had superior ratings for a string orchestra, which was included everybody, students from Virginia and Eveleth-Gilbert. There were 2 chamber orchestras that received superior ratings. One of them was made up of the Eveleth-Gilbert students of Jasmine Jam, Joanna Lammy Hickar, Chloe Nybo, Danica Dertinger, Amanda Rigstead, Jacob Bruin, and Michael Uritich. There were 4 small ensembles and 6 soloists, one of them being Jasmine Jam from Eveleth-Gilbert with a superior rating. And then the excellent ratings, there was 1 solo, 6 ensembles, 1 string quartet, which was made up of Johanna Lammy Pickar, Chloe Nigel, Danica Dertinger, and Jacob Bruin. So congratulations to the orchestra members. And then Mr. Gritzmacher participated in the subsection speech meet last week, and they were the champions. So they had 57 points, and I think the next highest one was 37 points. So they did very well. The individual champions were Quinn Mewich, Amanda Rigstead, Alec Gritzmacher. Second place individuals were Amara Carey, Kaylee Grahek, Danica Dertinger. Third place individuals, Shayna Garvin, Jake Bradash, Brennan Mewich, and other medal winners were Hannah Greenwich, Ashley Kopis, Kiri Yurchek, Kirsten Rothenberger, and Cam Peterson. And so they'll be in the section tournament this Saturday in Duluth at the Marshall School, and hopefully they'll make it to state.
Sounds like they have a good chance.
Yes.
All right, so what do you think about Monday? Monday at 5, we'll have a study session, exit interviews, athletic director.
I'll be on town.
You're on Monday?
Kind of issues that day, but
What else works for people?
after Wednesday would, or Wednesday. Bill, are you gone that whole week?
Yep,
Oh,
I will be back on like Thursday. Wait, hang on, get my calendar. I'll be back like Thursday the 19th, somewhere. But I won't be back to work if I go on that. Can you have the study session hour before the next meeting, or an hour after the next meeting? Or no?
We can, on 2 of them. One of them that I need to talk about is class sizes. We have registration done, and I want the board to take a peek at, because there's some real borderline, do you want to do it or do you not want to do it type of things. And that kinda needs to get done.
And I think the sooner the better too for confidential master agreement. We've been discussing that for a while too.
What do you think, Madam Chair? What do you wanna do?
Doesn't matter to me when you guys have it. We wanna have it 16th, go ahead. I have no problem with that. Unless you
I
think we should be there.
I think if we could meet next week, it would be better.
Okay.
I'm open Wednesday, Thursday. Monday would not be a deal for me. Just don't know.
Wednesdays are typically pretty open for me.
Thursdays can't work for me, so Wednesday would be better.
Okay. Tom, can you be here Wednesday?
No, wherever you set this live in there.
Okay. Derek,
That's the 18th?
Yeah.
you can't?
You can try to make that work.
I got listening sessions that day, but I kind of.
Oh, yeah.
So we're gonna have to meet the following week then.
Okay,
If Mike can't be here the 16th through the 18th, and Bill can't be here,
that's fine, we'll just do it then.
Is there any way to move it to 4:30? I mean, I know meetings for a longer day. Is there any-
If I may, I mean, couldn't we say the 5 o'clock on the 23rd, and then we'll have to schedule another time for the classes? Or do you want to get the classes done as soon as possible too?
Yeah, it's kind of contingent on the budget.
Just wondered
Trying to
if-
get the budget going.
I'm just wondering if we could move it to 4:30? Is that a little too early for people to try to get here for the work session on the 23rd? I mean, that gives us an hour and a
That's
half.
basically the best thing. It'd be nice to do if we could iron out that confidential thing before the next meeting. I mean, maybe to Brandy's concern, we could get that done, but I don't know about the rest of it. But you want to get the budget stuff going, period? That might be a little.
Well, I mean, we have a good guess right now, but, I mean, if you tell me that you don't want 29 kids in the 7th grade science class, then that's gonna impact it.
So, I mean, I can do 4:30 to 5. I'm just.
I can do 4:30. I can be here by then,
On the 23rd.
on the 23rd.
Very good, that's all I have, Madam Chair.
4:30 on the 23rd.
You were, Jeff, you were going to talk about that a little bit more in depth about the collaboration between the city of Virginia and the
Yeah.
school district in regards to this pool. I went to that and listened in on that.
So, what they're looking at right now is, like they told us that night, they have numerous options. They could remodel the whole thing. They could demolish it and build a new one. But one of the things that, in the demolish it and build a new one thing that they have brought up is swimming. So if they go that direction, they're looking for some partnership with the school, maybe the YMCA, maybe our school. And we have been approached about that, and I actually had a conversation with our chair, and really I don't know where we should go with that. I mean, at this point, they're looking for commitment to get involved financially, and I don't know that we're in that position right now, so we're probably in our best interest is to see how things go, and maybe we can get catching on the tail end if necessary, but I don't know that it'd be a wise move for us to commit.
Because the pool, the part that I didn't quite get when I went to that meeting is if the school buys into it, who owns the pool then? I mean, how does that work? If the school district buys into a pool on city property, how is that?
It's messy.
It is. I mean, to me, I just thought, that sort of business, to me, my opinion was personally, I wouldn't, it'd be nice for them to have to maintain all the equipment and all that other stuff, but I think it'd be a huge financial burden for the district, and how does the citizens of Virginia could be paying for it? How would that affect the citizens of our district, or just the citizens of the communities being able to use it? And I've asked that question, and to avail, I got no answer. They don't know how that would even work.
Right.
You know, because it'd be like this community-wide thing, but no one has that answer of how that whole pool thing would be set up.
You'd think it'd have something to do with, like, we have the curling club in Eveleth here that, you know, all Quad Cities funded it or participated, but it's a little bit murky there too.
Yeah, well, it's a city-owned thing, the city would own it,
Right,
but the school would rent it, or would the school be part owner of it?
you want
And
to
then if
commit
that's,
somehow, right?
Yeah, they want a financial commitment.
right,
Yeah, it's a little.
and I just thought, well, how that would work with our district, or even the community, the surrounding communities, because the way that I got it, it was gonna be like this community pool with the city owning it, but with the Virginia School District buying into it. You know, and there's just too many unanswered questions for me to even think that I would even want as a school district to get involved in that until they can give more detail how that whole business partnership would work.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think we have so many irons in the fire on things that we have to figure out where we're going with other things before we
Mhm.
look at.
I think we should still
Supporting
listen
of-
to it, understand.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's nothing wrong with following it, but to give a financial commitment to anything that's, I mean, I just, yeah, I think it's premature.
I'll do a little research. I know that the cities here, the club teams, they usually have a city pool, but you know, it's rented out. I know that some high schools will swim there too. There's multiple high schools, and there's competitions, and it draws more people because of the nature of it being a community pool. You know, like a higher range pool. I'll look into that a little bit as well.
Well, pools as a whole, I mean, schools are trying to get out of that business and hand them over to cities because they're just money pits.
They're hard to maintain, there's no doubt about it. I mean, there's refrigeration involved and feeding and all this stuff. And the pitch at the listening session, not the pitch, but it had legitimate, you know, reasoning that they would tie in the ice sheet to the pool. So the heat you extract from the ice sheet to make the ice would go over to the pool and heat the pool and vice versa. And it would subcool, you know, I'm saying there was a environmentally efficient way to do it, but.
I mean, if it was something like we do with the HIP where we don't own it and we just have like
Mhm.
an ongoing lease agreement, I mean, that'd be something different than some kind of
Committing money to them upfront to.
All right.
All right, so we'll take a brief recess and then come back for closed session. Negotiations.